What's up, you guys? It's Invaderz here again for another video, and today we have a great episode. But first, I want to thank you guys for staying tuned for season 2. It means a lot. And oh, also excuse my fan in the background. You might hear it, you might not hear it, but it's really loud. So I had to mention that. Today's episode is about rebellion in art and in life, right? So I love that, people use metal music, punk music, goth music as an escape for their reality when their reality sucks. And I love that those cultures also are cultures that tend to be rebellious. And I grew up and I love metal music, so I love metal music. So I was very, very rebellious, and I hated mainstream and a very chaotic life. You get the point. But we learned to embrace that chaos, right? And we learned to love that freedom of being rebellious. And it reminds me of when I was a teenager and I used to sneak out at night to go to like parties and shit. But I have a quote here that I'm gonna read. But I just wanted to say, I just wanted to say that it's perfectly fine to be rebellious if you want to be rebellious. If you want to rage against the machine, that's fine. But I think that I wanted to talk about, finding spaces where other people also rebel in art and life. I love that because it's like a culture thing. I love that. But anyways, what's up, you guys? It's Invaderz here again for another video, and I have some amazing news that we have started working on more projects, and we would love for you guys to be involved, whether it be an interview for the podcast, if you want like an ad spot on the podcast or anything like that. We have a whole bunch of different options, and we would love to have you come and be a part of a project. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you guys so much for all your support and love. It's amazing. And also, you can find the link to be a part of our new podcast in the description. It'll be the very first link to click on. Thank you guys so much. Let's get back to the show. So I think that there's like this really unapologetic way of being rebellious, and I love that metal music is like the heartbeat of it, right? So I think that like when you want to be a part of a culture that is like bigger than you, it's kind of a challenge at the same time, because you also have high expectations for you want to experience with what you think you'll see. And like I said before, there's nothing wrong with being rebellious, but I think that there's like this raw realness of like choosing to be a part of, or a part of the alternative culture, and to, stand against conforming or mainstream or anything like that. My thing is that, when you do join the culture, maybe you should lower your expectations, because there's just not a lot to see, and that has always been a big thing. And don't conform, don't be a poser, don't be a loser, um, and still stand out, still choose to stand out in that. And so, um, the quote that I have says, "Metal is the heartbeat of rebellion, a raw, unapologetic scream against conformity in the art space. The spirit translates into breaking boundaries and shattering expectations. Embrace the chaos, paint with the colors of defiance, and let your art be a battle cry of freedom. In a world that demands uniformity, be a splash of neon against the gray." And I really, really love that quote. Um, because it is inspirational, and it's like very motivational in my eyes, because it's perfectly okay to stand out, to be different, but the world likes to teach you otherwise. It's such a fucking shame that people are, struggling to be themselves, or don't know who they want to be or who they are, but the world will be like, that's better, that's okay, that's fine, rather than you being different and standing out, because that's just weird and it's not okay. And it's so boring that way. Life is so boring that way. And they'll figure it out eventually. But continue to stand out. Continue to be brave about it. Continue to be shameless about it, because that's what's cool. And yeah, I just want to go through this quote real quick and break it down, because it says, "Metal is the heartbeat of rebellion," which I think is so true, because when in 2005 or maybe later, when metalcore came out, it was so innovative, and it was different from what people had been seeing in the culture, and it was different, and nobody had done it before, that it really became like, it changed someone's life at one point in time, and it was something that gave people the courage to be brave and realize who they are because of music, right? So I think that, when it says at the very first sentence that metalcore is the heartbeat of rebellion, because we get a lot of shit. We hear about how our culture is different, and that's stupid, and that's not okay. But nobody gives a fuck, really. Like, I've talked about that a million times on this podcast. But an unapologetic scream against conformity, and that's the part that got me, right? That it's just this rebellion against fitting in, and I love that so much. And I would like, that will never get old. I'll never be tired of that. And standing up for what you believe in, because at the end of the day, if we all believe the same thing, we wouldn't be different. We'd all be the same, and that's a terrible, terrible world to live in. So continue to stand out, continue to be different. There's nothing wrong with it at the end of the day. And it says, in our spaces, the spirit translates into breaking boundaries and shattering expectations. And, I find that very true, because the world needs people of all different colors and shades to continue to be this beautiful thing that it is. And when you're when you're unapologetic about, hating something that you really stand against, or being passionate about your culture, it's basically what keeps the world so amazing, because we are different, um and we don't understand people sometimes, and that's okay. But the world just, anyways, it says embrace the chaos and paint the colors of defiance, and let your art be a battle cry for freedom. And that pretty much speaks for itself, that you should continue to stand out and continue to be different and be yourself, and not try to fit in and conform, and do it because of the freedom, because you have the freedom to do it, that's what makes it the best thing that there is. Because there's a lot of people out there that haven't thought about that and are still struggling with who they are. But we have a freedom to be whoever the fuck we want to be, and we want to be rebellious. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode. And if you haven't checked out the previous 2 episodes of season 2, then go check them out. Obviously, if you haven't watched season 1, you can go back and watch season 1. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support from season 1. It was a crazy ride. It was so much fun. And you don't have to see season 1 to to watch season 2, but you should at some point. So make sure that you like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks, you guys.